is going to quiz me. Well, that's not exactly a FCAT or a SAT, I'm promising you. There's no chance I'm going to do this. We're joined in studio here by a very nice guy, that of course Ralph Maltby, who's going to be bringing us a series of tips sponsored by Golf Galaxy, and we got some terms that we need to learn if we're going to be able to understand what these tips are.
We've got a few over all the segments that the people need to really understand, and one of them, center of gravity. And center of gravity is kind of interesting, and I made up this little board to help everybody with it. If I balance this board on my finger and I draw a vertical line, balance it any other place I want and draw a vertical line, I end up with a dot in the center.
Right.
Obviously, this board's a ½ inch thick. Well, it isn't obvious, but it is. So my dot or center of gravity is right there, but a quarter inch rather into the board. So that's CG of a symmetrical object. And the ball, if you balance it on its dimples and you draw vertical lines, it's in the middle of the ball. And so CG and balance point are kind of synonymous.
Right. Golf ball,
obviously. So I'm going to let you hold the ball.
Sure.
So when we go to an iron head, the center of gravity this is a non-symmetrical object, much more difficult to find it. So I want to balance this iron on its toe, I want to balance this iron on its sole, and I want to balance it on its face. And I'm going to find the center of gravity somewhere inside or outside of this head. And in this case, the center of gravity is in the middle of the face and it's up a certain distance.
Right, and when you match that center of gravity
and when I match the center of gravity horizontally with that of the ball, and I drive this center of gravity equal to or under the center of gravity of the ball, I get a really solid hit. It's one of those, that's the shot I'm looking for every time.
And we call it the sweet spot.
The sweet spot.
Okay, but the sweet spot's relative to a moment of inertia as well, is it not, in terms of size?
And moment of inertia basically is just telling you a golf club head's resistance to twisting on off-center hits. If we all hit it on the center of the face every time, we wouldn't need to worry about moment of inertia. But moment of inertia basically is giving us that resistance. And if I take this barbell, and let's picture it above my head, and I've got 2 5-pound weights on the end of it, and I'm rotating it, that's a real high moment of inertia. But if I slide those weights into the center and I now rotate it, it's really a lower moment of inertia. Low moment of inertia, very small sweet spot. Big moment of inertia, big sweet spot. And as the USGA, as you know, is trying to limit the MOI, moment of inertia, so that's a term we'll use, on drivers to a certain amount.
So because mishits go more crooked. And
mishits go more crooked, which we all really need that, don't we? Now, I never miss a fairway.
No, of course not. I don't miss them when I do it on TV. Swing weight, it's a term we all are familiar with, the numbers, but we don't really know what they correlate to.
Swing weight, most people have seen a swing weight scale. If they haven't, they come up with little designations like D0, D1, and D2.
Right.
And what those simply mean is a swing weight scale is measuring the relationship of the grip weight to the shaft weight to the head weight through a given length. It reads your D2, but what D2 is really telling you is that some guy came out with a patent and called it D2, but how he got that way was, to that point rather, was that he has a certain dimension he's measuring times the total weight down of the golf club. So when he multiplies that out, it's an inch-ounces measurement. And it just happens, I just happen to notice, that 217 inch-ounces is a D2 swing weight.
And you're going to show us in one of your tips how to actually just use a regular old scale and determine what our swing weight is.
Right in your kitchen, if you've got a little scale, you can find out what the swing weight of any club in your bag is without having to buy a swing weight scale.
Okay, well, I'm going to look forward to that. Now, one more, and it's been highly talked about in the golf industry for a few years now, COR. COR
is a good one. And it isn't exactly, I'll explain it. The USGA has changed their measuring method, but it correlates exactly to this way, and it's the only way to really explain it. If I take this ball and I fire it into a face of a driver set at 0 degrees loft, and it comes in at 100 miles an hour, and it goes out at 82 miles an hour, then the COR is 0.82 over 100, or 0.82. The efficiency of that impact is 82%. And we're trying to get as high as we can, but the 8.3 is your limit with the USGA.
Jesper Parnevik is going to give us some insight as to how it was when things were going good and the long road back to effective golf. Very good show. I hope you enjoy it.